نرحب الآن بالسيد محمد البلوشي، الرئيس التنفيذي لمركز الابتكار في مركز دبي المالي العالمي. نورتنا أستاذ محمد، تفضل.
مشكورة. السلام عليكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. First of all, I'd like to thank the Knowledge Summit, the organizers, to arrange this gathering. And yeah, apologies for being late. We were just trying to mic up. Okay. I think just to start with, giving everyone a little bit of introduction about myself. You guys can hear me properly? Yes. Yeah? Great. So I'm Mohammed Balushi. I am, of course, I run the DIFC Innovation Hub. DIFC stands for Dubai International Financial Center, which is a government entity that is responsible for developing the financial services sector for the city of Dubai. Established in 2004. Today, it's the largest of its kind globally. From the financial world, there wouldn't be a name that is not in the DIFC. Any financial company that comes to your mind, the top American banks, the top Chinese banks, the top Indian banks, they all have their regional headquarters at the DIFC. Another thing that I need to mention is we're also very unique. Like free zones, yes, we are a free zone, but it's a bit different than every other free zone. The IFC is more like a city within a city. The reason I say that, because it is exempt from the UAE mainland rules and regulations. The UAE, the region, practices civil law and Sharia law, the Islamic law. The IFC, 125 acres of land, has been exempt, has got nothing to do with mainland. It has its own legal framework. It's based on English common law, which is the international law. Most of the 90% of the world practices English common law. It has its own financial regulator as well. For financial entities, you have to have a financial regulator, which is progressive. In the UAE, you have the federal regulator, which is the UAE Central Bank. And then, for the DIFC, you have a regulator for the entities that operate within the financial center. Sort of, I can't say it's the central bank, but it governs everyone that is based within the DIFC jurisdiction. And the third most unique thing is it has its own court system as well. So for the first time in the Middle East and North African markets, a jurisdiction that has its own legal framework, has its own regulator and court system on English law and actually in English language. Now, again, Dubai is quite diverse. I mean, it has people from all over the world, 200 plus nationalities. We wanted to make sure we build a place where everyone is comfortable. And the reason we've done this whole setup of soft infrastructure is because we wanted to be able to go to the largest institutions, Goldman Sachs, Julius Baer, JP Morgan, and tell them, come to Dubai, come to the IFC, where we will guarantee you a jurisdiction that is no different than London, New York, and Singapore. 20 years ago, if you tell them financial services is a bit different than other services, if you tell them move to Dubai and start providing services from here, they'll say, fine, it's an interesting market, but I don't know who will regulate me, I don't know the laws, how can I do all this? We said, fine, we'll give you exactly what you are getting in New York or in London. And touch wood, after doing that, there is no name that is not in the center. About 5,000 entities, 40,000 people work in the center. Within the center, my role is to develop its innovation ecosystem, what we call fintech and future of finance. We started our fintech journey 6 years back. There were 0 companies. we had all the big corporates, consulting companies, law firms. There were no technology companies that are driving the future, the Web 3.0. I remember still the days in 2016, we said, what should we do? So Dubai and the IFC is a hub for financial technology, for Web 3, because digital assets was just becoming a thing. What should we do? And that's where we started. We brought in Accenture, we designed an accelerator program, because the first thing we had to do is change the mindset. Because the IFC, everyone, if I ask people in the audience, still they would say it's the financial center, all the big guys are there. But we wanted to change the concept. We wanted to see how can the IFC also be perceived as a hub for startups. And again, also, we wanted to make sure the companies that we serve, all the financial institutions, we can help them with the digital revolution. So we started with an accelerator program. I think one of the things that was very, and I think it goes back to my topic today, was very important to understand the culture and the requirements of the startups. And we were established in 2004. We know what a bank needs, we know what a big consulting firm needs, we know that. And we created the ecosystem for them, and we were doing good. When we started looking at startups, we realized they're completely different. Startup usually operates from a shared space. They don't have dedicated offices. They work from mixed shared offices. They come whenever they want to work. I remember when we started, we had this concept of co-working space was not there. Startups used to tell me that we'll work from a coffee shop. Just give us the license. So we had to bring that the WeWork style offices, probably not the best name to mention now, but I think we looked at them and we created a similar concept within the DIFC. We started looking at licensing them. Then, if you look at fintechs, they're small. They don't have the financial backing. They don't understand regulation. So how do you get them regulated as well? Because they're providing financial services. So we created regulatory sandboxes where the regulator works very closely with the companies that are providing financial services in a new way to help them get regulated, but with a light touch. Because people that understand financial services requires very high regulation, the capital requirements are high, there's many other regulatory requirements, which might be a bit difficult for startups. So how do we kind of encourage them? Investments. One of the things we realized that licensing and office space is not enough. Startups want investments as well. So we said, fine, what do we do? So we announced our own fund. We created a fintech fund first, which was $100 million. Then we announced the Dubai Future District Fund. There is $300 million. That's a JV between us, the IC, and Dubai Future Foundation, where we invest into fintech companies. But I always say one company is not enough. Today, in the Innovation Hub, we have 800 plus fintech innovation companies. One corporate cannot invest in 800 companies, one VC. How do we make sure all the 800 have, at least the key ones have access to investment? So that's where we started working. How do we attract other VCs? How do we pull in more VCs? And this will come back to my topic as well, that VCs is very important for any ecosystem to thrive. If there's no capital, it means nothing. So how do we attract VCs from the region, global VCs, venture capital firms? How do we engage family offices? In the region, there's a lot of family wealth. How do we bring in family offices to look into this asset class, to learn about this asset class, this opportunity? How do we bring in sovereigns? And also institutional capital, how do we unlock that? Because corporates, be it banks, be it other corporates, governments, they were not investing at that time. Now you see a lot of them have CVC arms, corporate venture capital arms, through which they are investing. But back then, it was not there. And I remember still 6 years ago, we didn't have any big fintechs, or even the investment kind of situation in the region was very young. Hardly someone would raise $1 million. Today, that's not the case. We touch wood, there's a lot of capital available. And luckily, we actually have our first unicorn as well. Tabby, if people in the audience know Tabby, the buy now, pay later platform that is based out of the DIFC Innovation Hub, started from there and now is valued at $1.5 billion. So there's huge success stories. And all of this was done because it was clear to us that our next wave of growth for the financial services sector, for Dubai, it's very clear, will be from technology. And for us, it's the financial technology and future of finance. And today, I can proudly say, we're actually experiencing that growth. We started 6 years ago with a small office of 3,000 square feet. Today, the Innovation Hub spans over more than 300,000 square feet. It's the largest of its kind. We started with 0 companies. Today, we have 800 plus, and more than about 4,000 people work in the ecosystem, so it's quite unique. But again, all of this is fine. Accelerator program, yes, you want to position the IFC as the hub for financial technology. Licensing is fine, regulation is fine, investments is fine. I think the question lately is, what is next? What is the next wave of growth? What are we doing to capitalize or position Dubai and the IFC and this part of the world, the hub for the next big thing? I mean, my humble opinion, sorry, I'm going back and forth with the slides. This is just a snapshot of some of the companies that are based in the center. We've been hearing a lot about AI and Web3. And so are we bullish as well. We believe this is going to take everything by a storm. I personally feel that there would not be a company that will not use AI or Web3 in one way or the other, directly or indirectly. So the question was, when we announced this a couple of months ago, still it's not open, hopefully it should open soon. We're working on the office. We said, how can we create something that is a catalyst for this future sector? Because I think if you look at Dubai very beautifully has created these clusters. You have a financial cluster, you have a design cluster, technology cluster, media cluster. How do we create a cluster that focuses on future technologies? And within future technologies, also AI, because AI is so big, and Web3, I mean, the huge giants. How do you create a cluster that brings everyone together under one roof? Consumers and producers. Producers could be many. You've got early stage companies that are coming up with AI tools all the way to the largest of companies that are producing AI tools. And consumers are also everyone, from government to from Knowledge Summit to everybody who will consume AI. So we announced a dedicated campus. The word campus basically, I mean, people that have been to Silicon Valley, you know, the Facebook headquarters is called Facebook campus, or Google is called Google campus. So that's where it's a tech campus. So we're extremely bullish, and I think, again, the thought process is that it should have everything under one roof. It will have more than 500 AI Web3 companies. It would have accelerator programs. It will have venture capital firms. Investment, again, is key over here as well. It will require a lot of regulation. And I think that's why given the IFC and its flexibility and independence, allows to create those regulatory environments. And it requires ecosystem as well, physical infrastructure. But I think this is more interesting. There is more to this than what we've done previously. This is where we're looking at what else is required. What kind of computing power do they need? What kind of, do I need to, I don't know, what kind of electricity bills I'm looking at? Because it's different, the requirements are different. So we're looking at everything with a different lens, but completely bullish on this sector to drive growth. And with this also, we believe corporates will play a major role in the next phase of growth. And what I mean by that is, you look at now, a lot of corporates previously started investing, or they became part of an accelerator program just to see what happens. But now we believe corporate venture building, corporates internally building ventures and scaling ventures and kind of innovating, that would be a huge thing. And I believe government as well, not that the government is not doing it, I think governments will also, there will be a lot of successful ventures that you, an idea which you kind of create and you spin it off into an entity and kind of run it as a separate business. It's becoming a thing in the West. I think it will become huge in this part of the world as well. You look at all the boards today, everyone's looking at innovation, new streams of revenue, new streams of growth. And that's why each one of them will start looking at venture building and creating new products which can give them new growth. Events like these are very important. This is where we believe the whole industry or the sector comes together. Hence, everything that we do, be it fintech, be it AI, be it Web3, we want to make sure that there's a curated global get-together as well, which kind of, it does two things. It elevates Dubai's position, because why do we have a Singapore FinTech Festival or a London FinTech Week or India FinTech? We should also have Dubai. That's why we have Dubai FinTech Summit. It happens in the month of May, which is attended by almost everyone from the industry in the region, but also a lot of global players. And we're doing something similar for AI and Web3. The reason I am mentioning this is because this is so big. I mean, one could argue that we could cover this under fintech. But because it's so big, we believe a dedicated get-together is required, which brings everyone together. I don't know how I'm doing on time. I can talk for days. But I think, yeah, that's it. That's just a high note in terms of what's happening in the Web3 space, how Dubai, I mean, we all know Dubai, UAE is leading the Web3 and AI space. We've had an AI minister before anyone even thinks about AI. Now AI has become this whole huge thing. Same goes for Web3. I mean, the type of attraction, the type of business that we're getting is a testament to that. But I think that's only the beginning. There's so much more that will happen in the years to come. Hence, we want to make sure that we're ready and we're well positioned globally as a leader. We have to make sure we have the right regulations, the right investment environment, the right business environment. We have to be a hub for talent to be able to attract these businesses and enable them to succeed. Thank you very much. And any questions, I'd love to host. تفضل. You start and then I go to them.
Hello, everybody. I don't know if you can hear.
I can
No?
hear you, but
Yeah?
yeah.
You can. Okay, now it's working. So my name is Noha Mokni. I'm from France, and I'm serial entrepreneur, impact serial entrepreneur, professor and expert in sustainable innovation, developing as an expert innovation ecosystem with the WIPO of United Nations in 90 countries. So this talks to me so much. And actually, I was wondering, as I know that the vision for 2033, for the next 10 years, is for Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum vision, is to double UAE economy and to become one of the top 4 financial hub in the world. So I think you have a big role. I mean, I think you are at the center of this vision. The challenge is how Dubai could have such a growth while taking care of the planet. So I'm back to sustainability. And here is all about tech for good and creating a sustainable innovators hub internationally. So it's not only about innovation, innovators, startups, but sustainable startups. And I'm working on this program. I'm developing this program. So if you want, we can talk about that after.
Sure, yeah. and I think just come. Yeah, please.
Yes. So yeah, let's say my question, or I would like to know more about what you have planned, really to focus on tech for good, AI for good, blockchain for good, and crowdfunding, because you talked a lot about crowdfunding. And crowdfunding is a real solution for all these startups coming from Dubai to the world and needing, at the same time, finance, funding, and at the same time, getting known, discovered, unveiled to the world. So crowdfunding brings this both together. Thank you.
Sure. So I think I'll start from the last point. Crowdfunding, yes. The first fintech company that we regulated was the crowdfunding. The SME financing called Beehive. We were the first to have regulations around crowdfunding because, to your point, it's directly connected with sustainability. For a sustainable economy, there is a gap when it comes to SME lending. SMEs face it very difficult. So it's upon us to kind of come up with initiatives that which act as an alternative to finance, access to finance, and crowdfunding definitely does it. In terms of sustainability, again, I hear that word throughout the day. I think it's everyone is pushing on it. I'm also being asked, what are we doing? So there should be some announcements around what we as Innovation Hub are doing, but I think overall making sure that there is sustainable finance as a financial center, that's one. There's a lot that we're doing, but in particular, how do we make sure that there is sustainable tech or AI for good, so all of these things are being considered, and as you know, we in the UAE have a much more aggressive target towards being net zero or towards achieving our sustainability goals. So I assure you there's a lot of work happening. We'd love to see how we can collaborate as well in terms of further enhancing our initiatives. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mohammed Mkayes. I'm an entrepreneur. I would like to ask about investing in a startup. In Innovation Hub, you connect just investors with a startup, or you invest already in the startup. And if you try to this way, what the best result from your experience?
So we do both. As I said, we have our own fund through which we take equity. There's also another fund which does venture debt, also belongs to us. But going back to my point, we have 800 plus startups. One fund cannot fund in 800 startups. So our role is to also attract the whole industry. So there's more capital available. You want to apply for the fund is available. You can make an application. You get, again, based on the criteria, you get access to that fund. But I think from my perspective as an overall ecosystem developer, I want to make sure there's as many VCs as possible. Instead of 1 billion, there should be 20 billion available. So we want to make sure that global and regional VCs should be embedded into the ecosystem, so there's more capital available. So there's both this and this, both available. And again, the VC that we run has its own, it has a sovereign mandate, which is more around national economic development, but also it does operate as a VC. So it does look at I mean, from an investment return perspective, it has that mandate. And then you have all the other VCs. So both is available and both are happening. Yeah, please. Both are available and both are happening.
Hello. Thank you for your excellent presentations. My name is Dr. Sharifuddin Ahmed Rana, and I am working as a professor in practice for MIT React, as well as I run a World Talent Economy Forum as a president of that. And there are many venture capital from around the world, as well as different scientists working together. My question is that when you discuss about involvement with different venture capitals, so what is the policy of UAE to inviting global VC to join in your ecosystem? This is number one. And number two, when you discuss about AI and AI ecosystem, how you do the data protections and monetize it, and how it helpful for global VCs, because we are working with the Futuristics Labs. It's also a VC. So we have a keen interest to invest on AI and AI related research.
Sure. So answering the first one first, which is around VCs. So when I say, so there's two mandates. One is to attract VCs to come and be based in Dubai. That's one mandate, where we want to make sure that the number of VCs in Dubai, in the IFC increases. So VCs that are based in India, we discuss with them quite often, or in other parts of the world, we want to attract them to Dubai. Secondly, I know not everyone wants to move right away. We do something called ecosystem partnership, where we sign partnership deals with them, partnership agreements, where there is constant deal flow sharing. So if there's anyone interested or anyone, if they're looking for investments, we share the portfolio that we have. So we have VCs, a whole, let's say there's a process we onboard VCs into the ecosystem. So any VC that is interested, we continuously keep developing it, because as mentioned, the more the better. Whatever helps the ecosystem, we want to do it. I mean, you're here, you're not here, as long as if you can invest in one startup, also we would want you. That's number one. Secondly, data protection. If you look at the IFC, I'll speak again on the IFC behalf. The IFC is very unique when it comes to its legal framework. It's an independent zone. It's a common law jurisdiction. It has its own data protection law. It's very unique, yeah? It has its own data protection law. It has its data protection commissioner. And it's the only jurisdiction, I would say, in the region that has got advocacy from it's GDPR compliant, and it has got the advocacy as well from EU. So we follow the Europe standards in terms of how what is designed around AI in specific. We follow the EU guidelines.
Want to set up shop. I wanted to particularly ask you about the Web3 AI and Web3 epicenter. For anyone trying to set up shop in the IFC under this umbrella, what are the top 2 or 3 criteria, qualifying criteria that they should meet?
So if you look at Dubai, Dubai is open to business, so are we. I usually say as long as you're not someone who's sanctioned, we will receive you with open arms. What I mean is, as long as you actually have a product that's in the AI Web3 space, and there are requirements. Of course, you would need to submit a business plan. You would need to submit your KYC documents, your financial, let's say, background in terms of where the money is coming from. From a compliance perspective, it should be fine. We don't say no to be when it comes to getting a commercial license or getting set up. As long as you are in this space, you cannot come and tell us you're doing AI, but then you're selling, let's say, something else. You've got nothing to do with technology. As long as you can prove that you're within you are an AI company or you're within the segment, Should be pretty straightforward. Yeah.
How you doing? Great presentation. Thank
Thank
you. You mentioned around how you guys are keen to keep expanding your ecosystem in terms of the services that you can offer to companies that are in there. Do you have a program in place for that, for, I suppose, companies that can help you guys offer more services as part of the ecosystem that you offer to startups and companies that want to be in the IFC? How does that work?
Yeah, so one of the things that we've, again, as I said, when we look at innovation, we continuously look at how we can enhance the ecosystem. So one of the things that we're doing is building a platform. It's not public, sort of public, where people that want to provide their services to the ecosystem can actually become a member, and they can provide and operate their services to that to the ecosystem. Again, this is a recorded session. We should be live soon, but it's a platform where the idea is because we have about 5,000 entities. How do we enable them to do business with each other or to promote their services? So we built a platform. It's ready. Should be live soon, where all companies can put their details in terms of the services that they provide, and that's whole. So it's a marketplace. It's also a community. It's a virtual community. So where people can also interact with each other, connect with each other. Yeah. I can share more information with you about it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. I think that's it. No. لا خلاص.
If you can say more about the virtual platform.
So as I said, we're not public yet. I'm not the one who is running it. Soon should be announced, but it's a digital platform which will act as a community for the entire financial center. So everyone that is in the DIFC can register and then see sort of a LinkedIn for DIFC, if I may say. You can go be over there. You can connect with everybody else who's on the platform, but it will also have a marketplace where all companies can register and put their services, so others can see, and if anyone is interested, can connect.
Still, these members need to be
Not
located
necessarily,
here,
no,
or
no,
it
no.
could.
Anywhere in the world.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
I guess that's it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.